There's a vision that you sold to Kenyans. You told Kenyans that I am here to help the hustlers, yeah? But at this point, I don't think that you're helping them.
The reason they use jargons and a complicated language, go to paragraph this, subsection this, clause that, it's intentional. They are using these languages so it can get mixed up. You don't understand what they are saying. Because they understand, the moment that you understand what's in the finance bill, you're going to be a revolutionary person.
It's really sad that they are actually adding tax on things like sanitary towels. Yeah. Now, if you add tax, does it mean that sanitary towels only belong to the rich? Something that is biological, that I have to go through it every month.
If we depend on a certain party to air our voices, becomes a problem. Because what happens when there's another handshake? So that's the problem with depending on the opposition to fight for us. So we should use our spaces that we have to voice our concerns so that they can hear us. Don't go at the politics of waiting for the opposition to speak for us.
I saw a tweet of an MP saying, I will not go against the president because I'm under his party. How will you say that? Yet, he or she is representing a very small, maybe ward around Ushago. These people are crying. And then you're saying, you're standing with the president because you are under his party. That is wrong.
Mr. President, Kenyans actually elected you because they felt that you understood their pain. Don't forget the people that elected you. Kindly listen to their cries.
Greetings and hello, my name is Robert Rajoro. Welcome to another episode of Society Unplugged, where we talk real issues, amplify unheard voices, and explore the future. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a special feature. We are discussing the Finance Bill 2024. Now, with over 87% of Kenyans opposed to the proposed financial revenue measures by the government, the nation stands at a critical juncture. Even as the National Assembly's Finance Committee tables its report, citizens, on the other hand, are on standby for a protest outside of Parliament. Of most interest is that generation that has everyone talking about, that generation that is always at loggerheads with the millennials. We're talking about the Genzs. Yes, you got it right. They are adamant. They are all out there in the streets of social media. They are talking about it. They are vibrant. They are vocal. They are saying, this is our future. We are the next generation. What does this mean for us and our kids in the future? We do not like this. Everyone is talking about it. You talk about the hashtags. The other day you saw on the streets of social media also people sharing the numbers of their members of parliament, calling them out, texting them, telling them, be responsible. We sent you to represent our interest. Now you are representing your interest. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be delving deep into these matters and more on this show. But before we go any further, you know how the plug goes. Like, place a like on this video so that YouTube plays a good algorithm to make sure we are visible. Also, click subscribe if you haven't done so. Join us on the journey to 1 million followers. I usually say nothing beats the power of a focused mind. Together we will get there, 1 million followers. Lastly, hit the notifications bell so you get notified whenever we post anything new. Back on set now. With me is an amazing panel. You get to know how amazing the panel is. I'm going to be letting them introduce themselves one by one. As the saying goes, ladies first. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much. I'm really so happy to be here. And I was like, this is the moment, because I've actually been talking about the finance bill to my family members, to my friends. Anyway, my name is Joybella _Kenyan Princess in all the platforms, social media platforms. I am a content creator / influencer.
Great. Let's talk to the gentleman right there with the amazing blazer. Looking sharp.
Thank you so much for having me. My name is Martin Kinywa. I'm a student at Mount Kenya University taking banking and finance. And it's a nice moment that we are having here to have the perspective of Gen Z on the finance bill and the political landscape in our country. So I'm happy to be here.
Great.
Thank you.
Over to you, sir.
So I am Noel Mwita. I am a student at USIU. I am a content creator. And I'm so excited to be here because finally content creators have been given this amazing opportunity to meet amazing people as Lynn Ngugi and also as Robert here, and also the kind of joy. Like,
Amazing. Let's start with you, Noel. Your video did a lot of rounds on social media, TikTok specifically.
No. Yani hii bill 2024 financial bill hata mjui inasema nini. Governor anawaambia ana risk life yake kuambia don't. Mnaambiwa na Safaricom msijaribu itaharibu economy. And you still haven't gone to see hii bill inasema nini. But me, I'm not a working group. But let me tell you, ilifanya nikataka kujua, hey, what is this?
Everyone is like, editing bits from your video and say, listen to this guy, listen to this Gen Z, listen to what this guy is saying. There's a couple of things you spoke of, couple of issues to be specific that you spoke of. What really sparked you to come up with such a content all out there?
one thing is, I saw a video of the governor of Nyeri saying people should reject this bill, and also seeing Safaricom saying that it's going to be something that is going to bring havoc to the economy really made me want to know what it's about. So after that, I decided to go read it, and then I was shocked. I decided, let me just use my platform to educate the Kenyans, let them know what is happening. I never knew it's going to get that amount of views, but I'm happy I was able to help someone understand it.
What is this about the finance bill that really doesn't sit well with you in whatever format?
For example, the one on freelancing. Many students, I've come to know many students, use freelancing as a way of getting money, because at this age, you really can't always be niching at your parents, I want this, I want this, I want this. So you're trying to get something from it. Now, the government's saying that they also want to tax something as freelancing, something as as content creators, it is not easy making content at all. It is not easy. And then now you want to say even the things as cameras, as lighting is going to be already, the taxes are already high. And then now the small thing that you're getting from like on TikTok or something, you also want to take it. That really made me feel uneasy about it, and I was like, hey, no, this is too much.
Right. Joy Bella, you're a media personality. What is this that media personalities and journalists in the digital space are uncomfortable, really uncomfortable with, especially regarding this finance bill, and how can they use their influence to sway the public from it?
I think the truth, most people don't want to listen to the truth, or Kenyans, we are afraid of the truth. And let me just say this, the Gen Z are actually causing the revolution. I had the same conversation with my mom, and she was like, no, this should be a secret. If you don't want if you don't like what they're doing, you should just keep quiet. It should be a secret. But I'm like, no, it's actually a trend, because she's not on social media. So I kind of came to realize that the the millennials and those people, they are used to just accepting the oppression that they are given and served. It's wrong. So I asked her, do you believe if this thing is right or wrong? She was actually reluctant, but ungeona tu, and if you listen to her, she knows deep down it's wrong, but anaogopa kusema, unaona. So I feel like most Kenyans are in that state. Even the media houses, this thing is wrong. Why are you not telling us? Why are you not creating awareness? There is something called civic education. Why are you not taking that opportunity to also make this thing digestible for mama mboga pia anaelewa? Because if you go through that financial bill, if you're not so deep into maybe literature, how to elewa anything. And I feel like maybe they should make copies of Swahili language and English, and just make these things available, even hata kama ni hard copy. Now you tell me, someone mwenye ako ushago uko mashambani, our grandparents hawana television, unaona, and maybe even they don't know this trend is going on in social media. But our media houses, they are not taking this opportunity to spread that people should reject the financial bill, because it's going to cost us a lot as Kenyans. Right. So in short, don't be afraid of telling people the truth. And deep down, we know what the truth is.
Yeah, you spoke of a different generation, like your mom and some other people, and they're saying they are afraid. It's like they're holding back.
Yeah, they're holding back.
Do you ever feel let down by that previous generation?
I won't blame them per se, because I feel like we are brought up in different times. So in their era, maybe that is what they were taught, like this is the best way to handle issues. Just accept when these people are, their term is due. We just pray maybe another person who will come and then atabadilisha vitu, but that's not really the case. Sometimes we have to, it's a moment of taking accountability. See ati we let our leaders do whatever they want and then we just throw blames ati huyu anafanyanga hivi. No, let us take accountability as Kenyans. Take time to read the financial bill, and if it's not favoring you, because those people, parliament is house of representatives, right?
Right.
Those people are there to represent your needs. It's not wrong for you to say that what you're representing is not what I want. Because if I take you to a house and I tell you, go and represent me in color blue, if you go there and you do color red, I have that I have that opportunity to tell you, hapana, sijakutuma ufanye hivi. So they are there. These MPs, they should not feel bad when people call them. You are there to serve people. You are a leader. Why are you a leader? You are a leader because of us. If we did not exist, ungekuwa leader wa nani? And most people are like, oh, Genzs, they're just saying what they want to say. It is the truth. And we deep down, we know. So let's support each other in this. See ati it's now about media or anything. You as a person, ukiwa nyumbani, take time. Talk to your parents, talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends. Let's tuelimishane. It's not only about media or something. It's about us taking accountability as Kenyans, na tusimame and just fight for our country.
Great. Martin, you're a banking finance student at the MKU, right? How do you weigh in economically once, for example, once this is passed?
Okay, so if the finance bill it has been proposed, it is passed, let me go specifically to what is affecting the youth mostly.
Yes.
And if I look into the finance bill, number one, it touches on the digital content creators. So digital content creators will be paying 20% excess duty for non-residents and 5% for residents. So this is going to take a toll, especially on the young people who are now monetizing on the digital space because the government has failed to create employment. The reason we are in these digital spaces is because the government, number one, has failed to create employment, and the solutions that they are offering are kind of knee-jerk. Go overseas, go to wheelbarrow mijengo, housing fund, and all those things. So digital content creators are going to be affected greatly. Number two, the cameras, the equipments that we're using, like over here now, they're going to be taxed eco-levy. So, for example, these microphones, per unit, we're going to pay 98 shillings more, eco-levy, for something that doesn't make sense. Number two, if I go into the motor vehicle tax. So, these small Uber, Taxify, most of them are the youth who are in these spaces. So you'll find that drivers are Genzs, millennials, most of them. So the 2.5% motor vehicle tax is going greatly to affect those businesses. So you expect the bus fares, you expect the fees to go high, and this is going to drive out these young people out of business. And the contradiction is that they keep emphasizing that they want to generate income for the Kenyan youths to create employment. Yet on the other side, they do the opposite things. So this is an awakening for the Kenyan youths, Genzs in particular. We need to be political. It's not the time to sit cozy, say that you're not going to speak about politics. Politics is boring. If we refuse to talk about the politics is going to take an interest in us. And that is what has happened. The politics has taken an interest in us as Genzs.
Right.
And this is the reason I believe we're having this conversation. I'm happy what has been happening recently. We've been texting the parliamentarians. We've been calling them, we've been jamming their phones, we've been jamming their kids with messages, and so that
Their kids also?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need to.
it's that bad.
It has to get there no matter what.
Yeah,
Personally, have you participated in that, like the texting or?
definitely. So I sent my message and I told him, for example, where I come from, there's no single TVET. The whole constituency, there's no single TVET. So the youths from, they have to trek to other constituencies, which is costly also, and it affects them greatly. And if you look around the budget as it was read for TVET, there was a reduction in the budget. So you wonder what is so funny that the MP is busy laughing about these affairs, and it greatly affects us.
Correct. I get it. Very well put. Now let's come back to you. In your video, what are some of those responses that you have collected personally with regards to engagement, comments, and perhaps inbox, if any? You can tell us. What is this that people are saying? What is this one thing that people are directing their talk towards?
Yeah. So a lot of comments I've seen are people who are happy because I talked about it. Many of them are like, I never knew there's such a thing. And even I also took time to think about it. And I was thinking, there is a 2023 financial bill that was also passed last year.
Yeah.
So I was also thinking, okay, how many people even read about it? Not many. So a lot of comments, a lot of my inbox are so many, just of people asking, saying thank you. And also the part 2 I made was because many of them were like, please just make another part 2. Others saying they don't have time, they have a lot of work, they are from, a lot of things they're doing, so they don't have time to go and read 136 pages and try to understand it. When I was reading through the financial bill, there are some things I cannot even understand. They're saying delete this, add this, I don't know this. There's a lot of things you have to understand. You have to have gone to school to understand some of these terms, yeah? So I felt it was so wrong for the government to not even give people civil education. Let them understand, okay, there's a bill, this is what it's supposed to be taken in simple terms. Let them summarize it. I was thinking maybe they could have said they have control over these TV stations, yeah? They will have said, okay, the last 5 minutes, summarize it, say, okay, there's this tax, there's this tax, there's this. Let people understand. The radio stations, even if it is in Kikuyu, Kimeru, whatever, let it also be translated to that so the older people can understand. Because if now we go to the rural areas and you tell me something about the bill, they don't know. The only thing they know, it is deadly and it's horrible, but they don't know what is inside. So I feel like the government has really not done its job there in educating the citizens. And you know something, I saw an MP say somewhere that he cannot do anything right now because it is under public participation. But if it was not for the content creators to teach people and educate Kenyans, there will have not been any public participation. That space will have just been left, and then now they go straight to the next process of, the next process.
But here's the thing. Also, the government officials, they don't know what the bill is about. That is the funny bit. Like, you're telling us to accept something that you can't even elaborate well. So what's the point? It's dangerous at the same time because these are the people that chose you to represent their needs, and you are giving us something that hata we mwenyewe uelewi ni nini. So I feel it's empathy that is lacking in some bit.
My thought is that it's intentional. It's not by mistake. The reason they use jargons and a complicated language, go to paragraph this, subsection this, close that, refer to this section, go back to this one, and it's intentional. They are using these languages so it can get mixed up. You don't understand what they are saying. So in the end of it all, you will be like, oh, okay, I don't understand what it's saying. Let me wait for an expert to come and break it down for me. So it's now that we wait for the tax experts, the lawyers now who come on TV, they're the ones who try to come and break it down into understandable language. So it's not by mistake that they are making it difficult for us to understand. It's intentional because they understand the moment that you understand what's in the finance bill, you're going to be a revolutionary person. Because there's no way you're going to sit there, your car, 2.5% housing levy, and you already have a house, you're paying housing levy, payee, excess duties that are being paid on things that you import. And it's ridiculous, the amount of taxes that they're piling up on Kenyans. It's an abusive kind of relationship that we have with the government
Robert,
that we need
to add
think.
to Joy,
Yeah.
I don't see why a senator can say this is not part of the Senate, that this bill is not the work of a Senate. You can't say that people voted you in and you are representing a particular group. That shows that you don't even care. It doesn't affect you because you know the small taxes will not affect you. You already have enough money. It doesn't affect you. But the people who went, the mamas, these people stood on the line for hours and hours to vote you in, and then here you are simply saying it's not part of the Senate. That's not our work. It's the work of the MPs, and you're done and you're gone. That is so wrong.
Right. Let's talk about the political situation in the country. We saw, for example, let me paint this. The other day, there was a video that was doing rounds on social media also. This member of parliament stole that write-up, and then he was like, he jetted out, like, you're not passing this. That was the opposition. Let's talk about the political situation in the country. How are we looking, Martin?
The politics in Kenya is just chaotic. It's just chaotic. It's troublesome. It can give you a headache. Just sitting down. If you're a sane person, you're just sitting down to listen to the politicians. They can just give you a headache. And this is the reason I think Kenyans are even struggling with mental health, because the moment that you get home, you start watching news, it's just depressing. Just watch the news. Like you try to understand the thought process of some of these politicians and you can't understand it. Like, what drives you? What's your ideology? Like, where are you coming from? Why are you standing for this? Why are you saying this? Is it because you've been told to say this? Who are you representing? Is it the Kenyans or is it your party leader? So from our perspective as Gen Zs, I believe that we need to take the stand now. And we need to be politically organized. This time round, we need to have that force that is against the normal noise that we are used to, the politics of deception and dramas. Because if you look at the political landscape right now, it's just drama, chaos. Politicians throwing words at this one. We are just talking about the next election every time. We need to have an ideology, a political landscape with an ideology. And I believe as young people, we are the people to shape these ideologies. What do we want? Like, Kenyan politics is not about ideology. It's about party loyalty. It's about shutting down this one, looking into the next elections. We have no ideology. Sometimes it's so annoying that I don't even watch the news.
It's that bad?
Yeah. It's bad for your mental health. It's depressing. It can give you a mental breakdown.
How do you weigh joy?
So I remember Kitambo. You know, I think a lot of Gen Z don't even watch news. Like, personally, I never used. Up to now, I'm struggling. But I remember my parents walikuwa nasema, hey, ebu weka news unaweza pata tumeuzwa. Right now, I relate. Like, I deeply relate. Because eka news, let's see what these people are doing. We need to be aware of what is happening in our political system. Me, I used to be so ignorant of the politics and everything. Ati bill hata never last year hata sikujua bill ati ilikuwa inasema nini. Ilikuwa tu like in a move. But right now as I'm growing and like I feel like when Generation Z from 20 to 40, not only Generation Z or hata millennials, that is an age where you're building wealth. So if the political system haiko sawa, how are we going to even become responsible people who can even support our parents? And you know, Kenya is still a developing country.
Correct.
We don't have much. Like right now, if you make it, you have your mom who depends on you. Grandfather is depending on you. Grandmother, a lot of people are looking up to you. Not everyone. Like, I feel it's a small percentage of people that come from old money. So that means most of us are actually accumulating wealth for our generations to come.
One.
So if we don't take time watch news ndo tusiuzwe, tutauzwa.
Do you know, I also don't watch news. I use Nairobi Gossip to tell me the news. I use TikTok to tell me what is happening. Now, yeah, so according to me, this political thing in Kenya, it is just, let me use Gen Z mad, the Gen Z word, it is mad. Because, okay, at this point, I saw a tweet of an MP saying, I will not go against the president because I'm under his party. How will you say that? Yet you have maybe he or she's representing a very small maybe ward around Ushago. These people are crying, and then you're saying you're standing with the president because you are under his party. That is wrong.
Some loyalty. Also.
Yeah, which is wrong. And yet, so just open your eyes. Okay, I feel like to me, I will tell them, yeah, you're already there for how many years? 3 more years or something. Now you can do whatever you want. You're already under that leadership. You are already under that leadership, so they cannot like remove you. So you do it. Because now I see people saying they're now waiting for the 2027 election. And let me tell the Gen Zs this: if you guys stand and you have good resources, you're able to, and you really love this country, and you stand, do you know what? The Gen Zs will wake up, even if it is at 6, we will wake up to support you, because at this rate, and the president is always flying out. We don't know. So yeah.
The Gen Zs have actually been seen for a very long time by the other generations as, watu wa kusumbua, mnasumbua, makelele mingi and that kind of stuff. But now as we speak, look at the brilliant minds here. And they are sharp. You guys are sharp. You guys are go-getters. You are speaking out your mind and you are calling them out. I'm Kenny, like Noel said on this video, you guys like wake up. Do we see like a paradox here where now these older generations are calling on the Gen Zs to be their voice?
Yeah, I think there's a paradigm shift, especially with the Gen Zs, and because of the digital landscape as it is shifted. So everyone now can be a journalist, everyone now can air their voices if you have a phone. So it's different from what you people grew up from. So you people were kind of cowards, sorry to say, but
You're just
You're not-
accepting everything, settling for everything.
okay, you're not open to speak out your mind, you're not open to express yourselves. So everything that you find in the political landscape that is being given unto you, so you're kind of buying into the psyops of the government. So if the government says this, you believe that that is best for us. Ni baba, you used to call it baba and mama. I don't.
Yeah, the Baba Mama economy kind of thing.
Baba and
Baba
mama
Misemo,
economy. So you people grew up in that kind of landscape. And for us, it's changing because of the digital landscape. So people are able to express themselves. And again, information is not withheld within certain sources. It's not just on Wikipedia. You need to go to Wikipedia to find information. Information is everywhere. So I can go to TikTok, I can go to Twitter, I can go to Instagram. And the best thing is that you find different minds. So this one is saying this one is saying that, and you can make a logical conclusions out of it. So I think that's the difference between our generation and your generation, kind of.
To add on that,
Yeah.
I feel like a nation that is informed, that is knowledgeable, is a strong nation. For us, we are able to move in one sync, because right now someone can make a TikTok video and we feel like ni ukweli. Now all of us are rejecting the bill. But for you guys, you didn't have TikTok at your time. So hata ukikataa, how are you going to, you see, like we have unity in the information system, like Nairobi Gossip inasema hivi, other media houses are saying this. So we are able to get information quarter and then we become one. Yeah.
Right.
So that is what is making us strong.
Right. Noel, what
Okay,
is
I
this
feel
uniqueness about Gen Zs?
As Gen Zs, we know our rights. Okay, according to me, there's some things you cannot tell me. I know my rights. I know. Because let me tell you, when I was in Form 3, I did history. I was in Form 3. I loved history so much. Yeah. And my teacher brought me a summarized constitution when you're learning about the laws and all that. So I was able to read a lot of that and know, okay, what are you supposed to say, what are you not supposed to say? These are the laws, na. So the good thing with Gen Zs, even you see them arguing with their parents, which is not good. But they know there's some things you cannot tell me. Even though you are older than me, let us have respect. Listen to what I'm saying, I listen to what you're saying. So that's a good thing with Gen Zs. We know, and we are ready to call you out because we know our rights. We know you'll not get arrested. Yeah.
Let me just say this. There is this assumption that if someone is older than you, this person is wise. But let me just tell you, stupid people age too. So
What you guys are saying, you don't even watch the news. You are collectively collecting information and processing it and then putting it out. Do you ever feel, Joy Bella, with your experience in the media, do you ever feel the media is failing?
I feel like somehow the media is controlled, and like there is some information huwezi sema kwa media, and the reason why Gen Z are more into social media than the mainstream medias is because I can say anything in my TikTok, unaona, like for example, for Noel to get an opportunity to talk about the financial bill in a mainstream media, it could be a hassle, unaona, but now TikTok imempatia platform. So for the mainstream media, I highly feel like they are kind of controlled, and yeah, so it's not really like reliable for the Gen Z generation, because kuna vitu, something might be going on and it's not even showcased kwa media, you know. Let me talk about the financial bill.
Yes.
Mostly Kenya tulikuwa tunasikia in the mainstream media was mkate kuongezwa, right? But if you go through the financial bill, mkate is the least of your, hata wachanana, hata waongeze mkate, but just go through the financial bill, you'll be shocked. And they were not even talking about that. It was all about mkate. So for me, I feel like maybe to some degree, it's being controlled. Yeah.
Martin, do you ever
It's
feel?
yeah, it's true. If I can take you back, if you're watching the news recently, about 3 days ago, when Kenyans were sending messages and phone and their contacts, there was a station that aired that what was happening on social media.
Yes.
And they blurred the images. So I was asking myself, why are you hiding? This is public information. This is what we are saying on in Facebook and Twitter and all these platforms. So it was like, the media might be, the mainstream media that is, might be part of the accomplished of this kind of bad governance. They are the number one contributors to bad governance, because if you look even at the guests that sometimes they invite, the politicians, they just come around, spew nonsense, and then they go back. So they don't talk about the real issues that affect the people. It's I think until recently that some of them, they've started taking up this conversation seriously. But before, it was like they're just inviting politicians to come and spew the nonsense, and then they end up talking about their silly your old school kind of politics that you people are kind of used to. This party say this, and it's boring to listen to such kind of conversations.
Right. Noel, do you ever feel like the media and the government have a romantic relationship?
Of course, totally. Because I feel like many politicians, if they go for an interview, they want to know each question you're going to ask them. Don't go ahead of that question and go below, so they can prepare themselves mentally. And if they feel these questions might, show a side of me that I don't want Kenyans to see, they'll say, no, I don't want that question. If it's all about that, I'm not coming. But also, we have seen some TV stations, I see Citizen, some news reporters are very good at calling out. You see, like the time they were seated with the president, and then this man, I don't know his name, but he was calling out the president, why are you doing this? Tell us this, tell us this. So I feel some of them are doing their job, while others are just being, are not doing their job. Yeah.
But I feel like this whole thing is actually causing a revolution even in the media industry, including the mainstream. So yeah, I feel like we are trying, but there is room for improvement for the mainstreams in Kenya.
Great.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this revolution that everyone is talking about. There's a revolution. There is a revolution rising. Martin, do you ever feel like it's getting stronger each day?
Yeah.
And even as people
Yeah.
are planning about the protests that are...
Yeah, it's getting stronger every day. And if I could allude to something, the recent floods that we've had, they started with raindrops. Those raindrops accumulated, and over time, we had floods. And over time, people became evicted. So I picture this as a revolutionary moment, as raindrops. These are small raindrops that are accumulating over time, and it's causing a revolution. It might not be the usual revolution that we are used to of maandamano and all those things, but it's kind of airing our voices in a landscape that we can revolt against the punitive policies that the government come with. So yes, people should continue with that momentum. So continue calling your parliamentarians, continue calling their spouses, jam their phones, email, everything. So people should be vocal about this. It's not the time to sit cozy and avoid talking about these topics and sit in a cowardice kind of environment. So we should all be bold and shape the politics that we want as the Gen Zs.
Right. Joy Bella, what is this specifically that is raising up this revolution in your own accordance?
I think people are just tired, and like we've seen what our parents have gone through. This country, we are actually an independent country, but it doesn't feel like it. I feel like we're still in dictatorship because yes, we have independence, but we are not free, and that is the reality. And I feel like with all the information right now, people are actually becoming political aware. Like, for example, I wasn't into politics. It wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
But right now, I am actually taking a lot of interest in politics. And I would really urge Gen Zs to also vie for these seats because we carry a different mindset and we are the only ones who can actually change the whole system. Ni sisi tu. So yeah, this is a call for Gen Zs to actually start vying right now. Yeah.
Interesting. Noel, how do you plan to continue using your platform to raise such awareness? You know, everyone is talking about revolution right now, and your video is still doing thousands. You're talking about how many views right now?
1 million views.
1 million?
Yeah.
1 million plus views. What is this about the revolution that you envisage?
I feel I want to support what Joy said. People are just tired. I myself am fatigued already by even the thought of this finance bill, about the government, everything. It's just tiring. According to me, as a Gen Z, I'm not getting paid. I'm not working or anything, but I'm looking at it in the perspective of my family, of my mom. I grew up with a single mother. She's paying for my uni. She's paying for my sister's uni, my house, her house. So much she also has to save. There's so much, you know. And then now you want to tell me there's going to this with this finance bill, with everything that is happening. I feel bad for my parent. I don't want her to get to the point where she will be like, okay, now we'll have to choose between education and how are we supposed to live and all that. So I feel Kenyans are just so tired with everything, and this is a point where they feel like it's time. You see, I feel like it was building up pole pole until now it has just blown. But I will tell Kenyans to be very careful. There's something called peaceful protest. There's something called peaceful demonstrations. Like, you can go to a police station and say you guys want to go and do a peaceful protest and given security. See, ni kuchapwa na tear gas. You're supposed to be given. It is your right to be given security when you go for a protest. So Kenyans should know there is something called peaceful protest. Because, you know, the problem with Kenyans, they will want to protest, yes, and they will go to the streets of Nairobi and start throwing stones on people's buildings, and maybe rob other, you know, citizens. Yeah. And you guys are there together. So you should you see the way during the femicide, it was very peaceful. These guys, they walked, very peaceful, and they were heard. Now there's a law, everything. So I feel Kenyans, even as the Gen Zs are thinking of starting a protest or something, or even this revolution, be very mindful of what you do. And let us be peaceful. You know, you can be heard. You don't have to always shout, but you can be heard. We're using our technology, using everything. So don't get into it and let other evil people use it as a way of robbing and doing some other evil acts. Because now you'll not be heard. Sasa mtachapwa na tear gas mwende home. Kazi imeisha tu hivyo.
I think the reason as to why we have rowdy protest, they are led by political demagogues. So these political demagogues hijack the cause. It's about the cause. Like last year we had maandamano and we saw what happened. People died, people lost their businesses, and all of a sudden they've betrayed the cause. They've thrown the Kenyans under the bus. So we need to shape our politics in a way that it's ideological kind of politics. We are not guided by politicians. We should snob them. When they come to your churches, when they go for harambes, when they Anywhere that you see a politician, just snob him. Even if it's in a matatu, you snob him. So we isolate them. We isolate the politicians to show them that we are tired of their nonsense. So we need to form our own party ideology as Gen Zs. The time to sit around to wait for another baba, it's done. We need to shape our own. We don't have a baba or a mama kind of politics. We need to shape our own politics on our own that is not joy-ridden by corrupt politicians and people who are looking for posts. Ours should be an ideological kind of politics. So we should not depend on someone to call for maandamano so that we can go. So if it is for the protest, we just air them on the social media platforms and then we avail ourselves. That is having followed the law. Of course, there's the law and all those bureaucratic things that politicians want us to do. We do it of course, we do it in our own way. It's peaceful because we are fighting for the right cause. But the moment it's hijacked by politicians, there is the problem that lies. Yeah.
Right. Speaking of waiting for another Baba, let's talk about the structure of a government. Everywhere, even in the Western world, there is now the sitting government and the opposition. Do you ever feel, Joy Bella, do you ever feel like the opposition is not doing its job, especially now? That people are rising against these? Where is the opposition?
Yeah. Okay. Me, what I believe is that for maybe good to thrive,
Yes.
or even a government, there has to be an opposition. And if not the opposition, then the church should stand, all the religious platforms should always start and support the weak and fight for the weak. But in my own honest opinion, I feel like we don't have an opposition party right now. I don't know about you all, but that is just my opinion. We don't have an opposition party. So it is up to us taking accountability and making change. Sisi kivetu. It doesn't matter you're a Gen Z, millennial, boomer, whatever. Just stand and take accountability. Kama ni peaceful demonstration, let's do that for our sake, not for the sake of anyone. Also, I feel like even the religion right now in Kenya, it has been weaponized. Like, it's a lot going on.
Right.
The opposition as it is dead. So my problem is that if we depend on a certain party to air our voices, becomes a problem. Because what happens when there's another handshake? What happens? What about the cause that they were fighting for? What about the maandamano? So that's the problem with depending on the opposition to fight for us. So we should use our spaces that we have to voice our concerns so that they can hear us. So don't go at the politics of waiting for the opposition to speak for us. So I think it's a problem if we are going to wait for the opposition, because it has been demonstrated before. They've been fighting for lowering the taxes, and then all of a sudden there's another position. We should not depend on the opposition. We should be the opposition.
Right. How do you weigh in, Noel, on the opposition? Do we have a strong opposition?
I feel no, at this point, no. Because if you remember the time of Mandamano, the time that the opposition lost in the election,
Yes.
the amount of times this guy was on TV saying it was rigged and all that, I would have expected after the finance bill was out, he would have done the same thing. Be on TV, try to educate people, saying no, na. I haven't seen him talking about it. The only thing I've heard is the MP saying, people from this side, we are going to vote no. But are we even sure? You know, people just speak, maybe the actions are different. But seeing the leader who's supposed to be there with Kenyans not saying anything about it raises some alarms. Have you been told anything? Are you not getting something? Are you getting something out of this? Na. So I feel it's something that is not happening well. Yeah.
It's true.
Great.
If you, just to add on that, if you look at the recent finance bill that was passed, Finance Bill 2023, if you just look at the Hansard reports as they were, the opposition MPs that they have availed for themselves were less than 50%. So it says a lot. The rest were in absentia. So you ask yourself, why is it so? Is it that they've given up, or do they have underdeals that they're making with the government and they're just doing the optics to fool us? So it's true that the opposition is dead.
Wow, that's why we're seeing all of this rise and revolution. Interesting. How does the government now justify, Joy, all of these new revenue collection measures that they are trying to do? The Finance Bill 2024, planning to raise revenue collection. That's what it says. That's what they say. How are they justifying that? And if you're talking about service delivery, how hopeful should we be?
I haven't had any like convincing justification from them, and it's really sad that they are actually adding tax on things like sanitary towels. Kenya, we have something called period poverty, for those who don't know. Now it's becoming a luxury for a woman to even purchase that pack, and even right now kuna wanawake ambao hawezi hata afford right now. Now if you add tax, does it mean that sanitary towels only belong to the rich? Something that is biological, that I have to go through it every month. Nitake nisitake. So it's really sad what they are doing, and if you ask me to justify that, how will I justify it? To be honest, I lack words. Kwa sababu, how will I tell a kid huko in the rural areas that we are adding tax kwa pads zenye right now you can't even afford it? Now, how do I even justify that?
So as of now, you cannot afford it.
I cannot.
But then there's gonna be taxation on top of it.
Yeah, now it's becoming a luxury for you to actually, even diapers. You know, I mean, like, it's not making sense. Like, we are not really ready for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk to you, Martin. You're a financial student there. You with your background in finance and banking and all of that. What are the economic implications that we are looking at? Perhaps if they pass it, tunaona watu wakienda ocha.
Definitely. You know, in campus they call it kuinama. So watu washainama. So sasa ni kupiga magoti tena sasa. Kuinama na kulala flat. Because now it's too much.
Yeah.
If I can take you back to some of those proposals that they have. If you go into the banking sector, the transactional fees are going to be increased from 15% to 20%. So expect the already high transaction fees for M-Pesa and all those bank services, they're going to increase. Again, the banking sector, they are going to impose VAT on banking services. So this is the time that the youth are mostly growing. They are taking loans. They need capital to grow. So imposing VAT on banking services, it means that the moment you go to take a loan, they're imposing VAT on that. The moment you go for check clearance and all these things, they're imposing VAT on that. So it's killing the banking sector as it is. And people are going back to, if it passes, that is, people are going to go back to mattress banking.
Mattress banking.
As a way of keeping the money, because it's the only way that you can avoid this unnecessary cost in an already skyrocketing cost of living that we have. Yeah, so it's going to affect Kenyans, not just economically, I mean, even mentally, as we're saying it, socially, it cuts across all these spheres.
Right. Now, in your video, aside from now content, because someone that's watching, they will be like, oh, now they're just talking about themselves, content, microphone, lights and cameras and the filming equipment and sound equipment, to the Mama Mboga in your video. What is this that will affect Mama Mboga from the day-to-day running or operations? Okay,
I mentioned something called wife's income tax and wife self-employment tax and wife professional tax. Therefore, right now, if you, let's say Mama Mboga, she's a wife, many of them are married women. Ameanzisha kabiashara yake hapo, that's self-employment. Do you know they have to pay tax for that? There is, yes, wife self-employment tax. As long as you are a wife and you're married and you have your small business, any profit you gain, any profit or any gains you have are supposed to be taxed. Now I'm trying to wonder, what do you mean? What do you mean? The Mama Mboga maybe has gotten a profit of maybe 50 bob, you know, in a few stuff.
Yeah.
And now that profit that you're saying, if you have that profit and you're married, you're supposed to be taxed. So I feel the Mama Mbogas at that point, to be bad for them. Apart from that, when this thing is passed, the economy will be so bad that people will lose their jobs. So if you are a mother or something, you lose your job because at this point, who's going to? Okay, let me say something as bars, yeah, as bars. What do you mean? I'm going to buy a quota that was normally 400 or 300. Now it will be around 800. So many of those places will be closed up. Many people will not be able to use maybe studio places or rents. So people will lose their jobs. And yeah, we are just sinking at this point.
Joy Bella, Mama Mboga, is there any hope for her?
Sijui ilikuwa kuua mama mboga ama kuinua. I'm still trying to understand that. Because there is so much happening against the mama mboga that we were all advocating for. So I'm really like nasikia uchungu sana because it's only, I don't know, if you do your research, it's only 3% of Kenyans who earn above 50,000. 50,000. And if there was this calculation of salary going around social media, ukishakatwa all the taxes, you are unabaki na kitu kama 4,000. That is a person who is earning 50,000. Now, what happens to the 97% of Kenyans who are earning below 50,000 per month? So unaona, like, these are people who have kids and vitu kama diapers zinaongezwa, eco levy, yani there is so much going on. I honestly feel like there is just lack of empathy na ubinadamu.
Somebody that is sitting there would be like, no, those Genzs are just against taxation. How can a country operate without taxation?
I personally pay tax as a content creator. Right now we pay tax. Kuna watu wanasema, oh, content creators, we pay tax. We pay tax and we are not against taxing. We just want to see results. Where is our money going? Unaona? In other countries, kuna high tax, but vitu kama ambulance, it's free. Free education at a high school. And it's good free education. Hakuna ati private school and public school. Shule zote, it's free. And when we're even talking about housing, hizo vitu ndo tunataka kuona. So we are not against taxation. We just want to see where our money is going. I think this generation imefika point where we are questioning where is our money going. Unaona? Yeah, something that has not been done before. Right. So that is why people think that tunasumbua.
Martin, what do you think? Are you against taxation, or what would you tell this person mwenye anaangalia asema no, they just don't like taxation?
Taxation, as it has been designed, it's supposed to benefit the people because it's people's money, generally. Taxation, it's an obligation we need to pay. So I cannot sit here and then tell people that they should not pay taxes. Yes, they should pay taxes. But the problem we have is the expenditure side of the government. The wastage that we see from the government, it's mind-boggling. From the traveling that the president is making, like I was watching news and they were saying 18 billion, 18 have been spent in the air and on the road, just moving around. And there's nothing beneficial to that effect that they're gaining from this traveling. It's climate change, I don't know, this summit, this and that. There's nothing beneficial if you look at those travels. And signing deals that do not make sense. Even if you look at these places, for example, that they're traveling, and you need to look at how those governments are functioning. So for someone to tell us that they're going to America to sign deals, what deals are they signing with a country that is in a serious debt crisis?
Data is now no longer private in this company. The KRA have been given the go-ahead. Once this is enacted, they will have access to your information. And information is large. Information in today's world is really valuable.
I feel it is wrong. They should not give them that, because at the end of the day, we need our privacy, you know. For you guys to say, okay, we have given you all this, you don't even need any court order, you can do whatever you want to do. It is wrong. I feel like the government is trying too much. You know, it's wrong. I can't add anything to it. I feel like it's wrong. let Kenyans have their bit of privacy. Already, normally they would have done that, but through a court system, okay? So we just allow you to go, you know. The thing with this government, they want to do everything at the same time. They're doing this, they're doing this. I think that is why you're having over taxations. This time, the president wants to have a highway that is going to Arusha. The next time, he wants to have this. The next time, he wants to have this. I feel like you don't have to have all of that at the same time. Take the country pole pole. Okay, we want this, we want this, we want this. But now you cannot say, or we say this, we allow it to the politicians. Only the politicians, we allow their privacy to be out there. Because there is a lot, you know, about the politicians. There's so much money they're taking. Because you hear the what is it called? The editors saying that there's $1 billion that has been lost to, you know, somewhere in the government. I feel like now the government, now them, they deserve that. So we can know where these billions are going to. Now we can track it through their phone numbers. But was sasa mimi, I only have 50 bob in my account right now. What do you want my account? So I feel it is unnecessary, but only for normal Kenyans. But for the rest, kwanza if you are around finance, yako hata ukwe tracked. Yeah.
Interesting. Joy Bella, how do you weigh in privacy, data? So valuable.
I actually have the same point kama yake. Yeah, I don't support someone violating other people's privacy. Yeah.
Martin?
Yeah, it's an infringement to the rights of Kenyans. And I will appeal to Gen Zs, now that we are becoming kind of political, we need to start reading the Constitution. And Article 1 of the Constitution says, we the people, sovereignty of the people. It's our right. We are the ones who dictate what should happen, not the other way around. So they want to take that information to start bullying Kenyans. Right. And this government has proven that they can bully people. It's no secret.
Wow. So now, guys, even as we wind up, we are talking about the pending protest outside of Parliament. The details are all out there. The streets of social media are literally on fire. Everyone is talking about it. I will be there. Nitakuwepo. I will be there. I will appear. How many guys are going here?
We are going. We are going.
Wow. The dress code is
Black. With
What
a
else?
bottle of water.
Yeah.
describe
And
this.
shade.
Vuvuzela.
Yeah.
Vuvuzelas.
Vuvuzela
Bottle of water.
Bottle of water.
for what?
To get hydrated.
Hydrate.
Yeah, to
To
hydrate.
be healthy.
So that you can continue.
Yeah.
What
You
else?
can become louder. And nini, a mask in case, but just a mask.
Dress code.
Black.
All black.
Dates.
Some classic black.
It's Tuesday,
Time.
2 p.m.
Yeah, they are mobilizing, I think, from 12 p.m.
Oh,
And then they march to Parliament.
Any sentiments? Last sentiments? Word or two? Sentence or two or three?
What I will say is that the political landscape is changing, and the boomers and Gen X's need to know that the kind of politics that they had, we are changing that narrative. That narrative of having political godfathers, tribal kingpins, and all those shenanigan kind of politics that they had, it's coming to an end, and Gen Zs are shaping the narrative as it is. Yeah.
Joy Bella.
I want to support what he's saying and add on the more accountability part. So let's not wait for someone to come and save us. Let's just save ourselves, because time and time again we've been disappointed by the people that we put our faith in. And it's only us who can save us at this time. So for the Gen Z, we are causing a revolution. It's a whole movement, and I totally love it. So yeah, and let's stand with the truth.
Right. Any last sentiments, Noel?
First, I want to ask, what do you mean 800 million for confidential use? We still don't understand why you guys need 800 million for your own privacy life. We don't even care about that yet. Something like pads here, as has been said, you guys are adding the prices. Pampers, you're adding the prices. Yet 800 million to not even be written anywhere. It is wrong. So I feel even, well, you guys, the MPs, even when you go to draft some of these things, take time and think, how is this going to affect not only me, because some of you are not getting affected, but how is the normal Mwananchi getting affected? Number two is, I would want to tell the Gen Zs, we might be many people, the millennials may look at us as if we are rude or na. I will tell the Gen Zs to, even as you go for demonstrations, peaceful demonstrations, mark my words, and peaceful protests, please also take time to also understand this thing. Yeah, don't be in a hurry to just take your phone and just make any type of video. So use your platform to educate Kenyans. Use your words well. Don't say things that will bring you havoc. Yeah.
Great. And allow me guys to throw this in. Somebody will be like, these Gen Zs, they are brilliant. They are speaking the language. Wow, what brilliant minds. But then again, these are the same Gen Zs wanapiga polisi pale amevaa uniform.
I think it stems out of frustration and disappointment. So I won't support violence. As my brother said, we are not supporting violence or causing damages to people's properties and all that. We are just voicing our concerns. We are voicing our concerns about our future, because it's our future that is being destroyed as we are watching. So 10 years from now, 20 years from now, our children will be asking us, what did you do? Why am I paying these taxes in as much as I'm existing, I'm still young and I'm paying this much taxes? What did you do? What did your generation do? So at that time, you'll not have answers. So it's better to speak out now than speak out later and look like a disappointment of a person trying to explain to your children that you withstood the bullying and the taxation by the government, and you just sit there like a coward. So we need to have the courage and speak out. No one should. We are protected by the Constitution, by the way. The amazing thing is that the Constitution of Kenya 2010 protects our rights. Yeah, they may defile it and not follow the Constitution as it is, but justice always catches up.
Great, great, ladies and gentlemen. Even as we wind up, this conversation was insightful. I hope it goes out there, changes people, shifts dimensions with regards to thought process, the thought pattern, you know, like you guys are putting it. You have said it all. I don't want to repeat it. But now, guys, one by one, if it's a message to the Kenyan president that is watching you right now, talk to your president.
Okay, I'll tell this to the president. We are not being rude, by the way. We are just trying to show you what is happening. So there's a dream, there's a vision that you sold to Kenyans. You told Kenyans that I am here to help the hustlers, yeah? But at this point, I don't think that you're helping them. You know, it is good to tell someone if they're doing something wrong. Please, I will tell you, don't get mad, don't get frustrated, but I will tell you to just take this criticism, okay, you know, just be open, let us listen to us Kenyans. We're the ones who are telling you what is happening, na. So please have a heart and don't feel bad. Just look at it in a brighter side, that you're helping us Kenyans. Yeah.
Right, Martin, let's go to you. Speak to your president.
It's difficult to send a message to the president because they've been sent many messages over the time. Last year, 2023, people sent their messages. In 2022, people send their messages. But for the record, Mr. President, I will appeal to you to listen to the cries of the Kenyans. You need to get back to the humanness part of it, of being a Kenyan. Now we're seeing like there's no humanness in the government. So we need to see the human aspect of this government because we cannot see it. So we need to see you taking decisive actions that are going to benefit the people and are not going to oppress the people.
Great, very well put. Thank you, Martin. Let's head over to the lady. Speak to your president.
Mr. President, Kenyans actually elected you because they felt that you understood their pain, and majority of the Kenyans are hustlers, like we say, mama mbogas, single women who are struggling to raise about 5 kids, people who have wanaelewa shida ni nini, and they put you there in that position because they were like, finally someone who can speak my language, who went through all this, mwenye alipitia hiyo shida yote. I just want to remind you that, and don't forget the people that elected you. Kindly listen to their cries. This is not being rude or anything. This is just reminding you of the people that elected you in that seat. So as we are talking about the bill and everything, kindly remember huyo mama mboga mwenye she has to raise 500 bob ndio watoto wake watano wakule maybe, and this is a single mom. So with that bill being passed, it will not be fair. It will kill us. It will a lot of hope in us. Some kids will even find it difficult going to school. So, Mr. President, that bill will not help Kenyans.
Great. Very well put, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. Noel, content creator and a student also. Brilliant minds on Society Unplugged. We had Martin also, a banking and finance student on his final years of the university. And then we have Joy Bella, media personality and journalist. Brilliant minds. Guys, thank you so much for honoring the call, for being here, for airing your views, your honest opinions, your honest thoughts. We hope this goes a long way to changing shifting dimensions, like I said earlier. Thank you so much, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet there at the comment section. I will see you there. Let me know what your take home is, the Finance Bill 2024. Let us keep the conversations alive, just the same way we usually do it. Thank you for watching this episode of Society Unplugged. My name is Robert Rajoro. See you on the next one. Goodbye.